with Pioneer Wealth Management. His spouse is Sonam, children Sachit and Tushar. He's been in the business for the last 22 years. Looking for pets, none yet. Hobbies: collecting watches, pens, and travel. Interest: meeting new people and reading. Burning desire is to make $1 million in 1 year. Something no one knows about him. He says, "I'm an open book." Rajesh, over to you.
Thank you, Ashok. Well, I am an open book. I think some people in this room can vouch for me on that. It's a very nice quote, which I read when I was quite young. When I was young, I thought money was the most important thing in my life. Today, that I'm older, as Manoj said, 40 plus, I know that it's true. Who am I? Apart from being Rajesh Chandani, in my industry, I have 22 years of experience. I'm a life member of MDRT. It's 10 years of continuous qualification for MDRT that actually brings you down to the life membership. I'm also a FAIQ, which is the Financial Advisor International Qualification. I've passed this exam. This is my team, just one part of our team, which is the Wealth Management Division. What do? I ask people, do you have a plan? The first step for anybody is to plan for life, financial life, not Abbas, what Abbas said, but financial life. The first thing is identify your goals. Where do you want to be? Next is create a plan. Okay? Know your strengths, know your weaknesses, know your net worth. Know your options. How do you want to get there? What are the choices available? What is the time frame available? Seek financial advice. Involve your wife, your family. Prepare a list of your assets. There's a 6-step approach to financial planning. The first is this month's check. That's my budget. The second is the most important thing that we need to do, especially living in this country, is have at least 6 months of expenses in an offshore account. Offshore could be even in India, any place where you live, in a fixed deposit, doesn't matter, as long as the money is easily accessible. God forbid, somebody loses their job, there's a mishap, there's something, you need to be able to sustain yourself. That's the first step. Second step is adequate life insurance. Why adequate? Because when the check stops coming to the family, okay, the family is destitute. The family needs your support. You need to be adequately protected. 200 times is a very adequate amount. The reason for 200 is not a magical figure. I've said this time and time over again. 200 times any amount would give you X multiplied by 6% per annum would give you back exactly the amount that you spend per month. You decide what that amount is. Critical illness cover. This is a living benefit. This is not medical insurance, this is a living benefit. If somebody has a heart attack, they get paid out exactly what they were insured for critical illness. Doesn't matter they've spent 20,000 dirhams in a hospital or 50 or 100,000 dirhams. Critical illness benefit takes care of you in a time when you are indisposed. You cannot work. Education planning. For those of you with children, it's very easy to say, my son will go to the US, my son will go to Canada, my son will go to, or daughter would go to the UK. But you know how expensive it is? Just figure that I'm going to give you today, it's astounding. My son is going to Canada. I spend $55,000 at a minimum every year for his education. The US is about $75,000. For those of you with little toddlers, trust me, that figure is going to double in the next 10 years. Retirement planning. Not getting your check next month if you retire is not going to stop your expenses. Your expenses are still going to go up with inflation. Retirement does not mean financial debt. It just means that there's no money coming in. It means you are going to still have to fund whatever it is you like. Okay? If you want to take up golf after retirement, it's going to cost you. Can you afford to ignore that little drop of water going into that cup? If you can afford to ignore that, please do. It's your cup, it's your life. Okay? But compounding, eventually, will bring about the effect that you desire. However small your investment, however small your savings, how do you want to put it? You want to put it under your pillow? Fine, do it. Okay? If you want a structured way to do it, I'll ask you a question, and please be honest with me in this room. How many of y'all have gone and deposited 1 dirham, $1, 1 rupee on the 1st of November, 1st of December, 1st of January into an account and not touched it? Can I have a hands, please? Can I have a show of hands, please? Nobody does it. Nobody does it. But if you've signed a contract saying, I am going to save for the next 10 years, okay, you are obliged by that contract to contribute into the contract. Eventually, it becomes like a drug. It becomes a habit. They say it takes 21 days to build a habit. This is a long-term habit. Okay? I know people who could not save even 1 dirham are millionaires today. Okay? If nothing else, I'm sure they're blessing me somewhere. You can't afford to ignore the effect of taxation or inflation. Inflation, what costs 100 dirhams today is going to cost 107 or 108 or 110 dirhams tomorrow. Okay? So your money lying in the bank is a waste of money, you're losing money. Start funding your dreams. People keep planning, I will do this, I will do that, I will do that. Remember, the watch just goes in a clockwise direction, never anti-clockwise. Stop dreaming, get down, do it. Whatever it is you want to do. This is a financial plan of a gentleman, age 35. He starts off here. At the age of 49, he has his first child education to take care of, a couple of $100,000 there. At the age of 53, he has a second child's education to take care of, again a couple of $100,000 there. He aspires to own a home by the age of 50, $500,000 to own that home. Then comes 60, 65, retirement, requirement is 1.8 million because he needs a pension of $10,000. 1.8 million kept in the bank at 7% would give him $10,000 a month. Okay? The factor of inflation is also there, that 5 to 7% is going to be the inflation year on year. He has to factor that in because you can't say, I have only $10,000. He has to factor $10,700 next year. Okay? This is a very typical life cycle of everybody. Okay? But the biggest thing is, I can plan for my child's education, I can plan to buy a house, I can plan to have my second child educated where I want to, I can plan all my investments. But guess what? If something happens to me, it's all a big zero. Who's going to fund them? That's where Plan B comes in. Plan B is life insurance. If something happens to me, and this ball is my income, if something happens to me, who's going to take care of my family? This wedge which I call life insurance. It holds the family together, it holds the family financially. No matter how much money I talk about, no matter how much money I give anybody, I cannot replace the human being. But what I can replace is that human being's aspiration and that quality of life that that person provided to his family with his check. The referrals I see today are friends who can't save otherwise, CEOs, CFOs, managers, business owners, friends with small children, friends and family who are not insured, Emirates airline crew, people in their 40s for their retirement planning. This speaks for itself. Your future, you decide. If this is how you feel about financial planning, call me. My name is Rajesh P. Chintani. I take the gift out of your life. Thank you very much.